Hello, this is my brand new Fender Tom DeLonge Strat in Daphne Blue. Now, I didn't pay £2,000 what they're going for on Reverb, and I didn't pay £1,000. I paid about 350 quid, and I did it because I made it myself. So yeah, during lockdown, I decided I wanted to get back into guitar. I've not played for about 10 years, and I thought, you know what, something to do. Bought myself a Telecaster, loved it, and I'd always wanted a Tom DeLonge style guitar, be it a 335 or a Strat. So I treated myself, and I must have found the last one in the UK, but I found a brand new Epiphone Tom DeLonge ES335 from Gear for Music in Ireland for some reason. I couldn't find it in the English one. In the Irish one I found it, no problem. Anyway, so I was playing. I absolutely loved playing that guitar. I joined a couple of forums and I've watched some videos on YouTube from like the Tom DeLonge guitars and Pursuit of Tone. I fell in love with Strats again. Little Red guitars. It absolutely inspired me to make my own guitar. I thought it doesn't look that difficult. So yeah, I got into it, and I'm going to show you what I did in picture form because I didn't take any videos, unfortunately. So this is where I started. Yeah, I bought this guitar off a friend, completely stripped, for 50 quid. 50 quid. And I don't even have that neck on it anymore. That's the smaller style, like the normal Fender neck. This has actually got the 70s style on it. Obviously Tom DeLonge purists will know that that's a Tom DeLonge spec. You got to have the big headstock on it. So yeah, this is what I started with. I was told it was an older body. This I didn't really care about. Wasn't bothered in the slightest. Didn't want it. Just wanted this because I saw it was rated for a humbucker. One thing I was absolutely gutted about, but I can't complain for 50 quid for the lot, is this. As you all know, Tom DeLonge's guitar is a hardtail. So I had to make do because it was 50 quid. Again, I'm just going to keep saying that it was 50 quid. So I'll make do. I'll just have a trem, sod it, fuck it, be. So the first thing I did was I went straight out and bought off eBay, not really going out. I bought a square neck with the fat headstock style. It has to be done. I suppose it's cheating a bit calling my guitar a Fender. It's a Squire. It's got Squire body, Squire neck. It's a Squire. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sell it, so I'm not bothered. I want it to look like a Fender, but it's a Squire. So that's the neck I bought. 21 jumbo frets and the fat headstock. All I wanted. Was happy with that. Wouldn't have been too arsed if it was 22 frets, but it was 21 frets and the big headstock. That's what I wanted. First step in actually building it, I needed to get some paint. So I actually got some paint from these guys. So this is Northwest Guitars, and I couldn't recommend them more. I was looking for paint, and they were the first thing to come up. I think they've done some really good advertising things with Google and paint to become at the top of the searches and everything. So they're doing really well with that. But yeah, I was looking at them and realised they're in Warrington. They're actually about a 5-minute walk from where I work. So that was even better. So I gave them a call, said I wanted some Daphne Blue paint. I'm not being funny. I know it's a webcam that's being, but that's not bad, is it? For someone who's never painted a guitar before, it's good stuff. It's good stuff, and they make it easy. So yeah, I bought. I'll show you what I got. The Daphne Blue paint. It's their own stuff, and it's 14 quid a can. I got the paint, I got the clear coat, and I got the primer. They're the products that I got from Northwest Guitars. So yeah, absolutely 100% recommend them. I have never spray painted anything before, not even vandalism. I've never spray painted. I've never held a can of spray paint before, and I ended up doing this. So I was quite proud of that one. So yeah, if you're new to it, it's good stuff, really good stuff. It's not perfect. like I say, I've got a bit of flat spots, but as far as I'm concerned, it's belting. It's better than it was. But go back to this image. This you can't really see in this picture. This guitar was battered, absolutely battered. So the first process was sanding it. Now sanding it was a pain in the ass because it had been spray painted already. So I had to sand it and get all these flat spots out with all the dents, the bangs. This one was a swine in particular. That was a bad one to get out, and this. But I'm going to keep showing it. You can't really notice it. There's a little bit of a ripple to it, but you can't really notice it anymore. So I think I did a good job sanding it. So yeah, this is my little rig up. I did do this in the winter, by the way. So I did it in my conservatory. I ruined my conservatory. Make sure you do it in a garage or outside. Don't do it in your conservatory because I've wrecked mine. So that was after primer. I was quite proud. I didn't get a picture of the front of it because I'm an idiot. But that was after primer and a bit of a sand. I was quite happy with that. I thought I could see there was. You couldn't really see the dings and the scratches and the old paint and all the old flaking. I managed to get it all off, so I was quite proud of myself with that one. Again, never painted before, and I did that. I was quite happy. The next stage in the process, I started giving it a bit of colour. Now, this is weird. It must be the colour or the picture or whatever. This was after about 4 coats of Daphne Blue. You can tell it's Daphne Blue because it's on the blanket at the bottom. And it looks really, really light, and I was happy with that colour. I was really happy with that colour. Yeah, I couldn't fault it, but it looks really light on that picture. But it was definitely Daphne Blue because I'm holding it now. That was just after. I think that may have to have been 1 or 2 coats of Daphne Blue because you can still see bits of primer where I've sanded and all that kind of stuff. So I'll zoom in on that. You can still see bits of primer where I've sanded and caught it. So yeah, wasn't perfect, and I was starting to. It was squeaky bum time then because I thought if it goes wrong now, it's going to go wrong horrifically. And I've already spent like 100 quid on paint and a guitar, so 100 quid in here. But I carried on, and it started coming too. I mean, I think that was coming up to my last coat, and I was pretty happy with that. And I think this was the last coat, just before clear coat. Now, I'm not a professional paint sprayer, obviously. That is a bench from work for doing bench press on, so I think they'll be a bit annoyed when I give that back, but whatever. That was my little spray room, and it was cool. I gave myself a really bad headache every time, but yeah, that was my spray room, and that's what I achieved. So let it dry overnight, give it a bit of a wet sand. It's not perfect, I promise you it's not perfect, but I'm happy with it. Where the hell did this colour come from? It went really bright. I don't know. But anyway, my pit guard came. Was very, very happy with that. I thought we're getting somewhere. So at this point, I've spent 110 quid. I've got the body, I've got the paint. No, the neck was 50 quid. I spent 150 quid. So I've spent 50 quid on the neck, 50 quid on the body, and a £10 on a Tom Delonge style scratch plate, and about 50 quid in paint. So I'm quite a few. I didn't realise I spent this much so far. But anyway, this is where we were up to. That headstock still says Squire on it. So my next thing was the water slide. I got this. I'm not going to say where I got it from because they didn't really want to tell me. They didn't want me to tell anybody. They used to be a massive dealer in them, and they did really well out of it. But then Fender got in touch with them and said, "Listen, stop selling them. You're not allowed." So apparently Fender don't like you doing it. They know what happens. There's loads of videos on YouTube of people putting decals on Squires and stuff like that. But yeah, this was what I got, and it is awesome. Like, I'm dead happy with it. Again. So this was after doing it, and people say it's difficult fitting a water slide. I sanded the Squire off, and you could still see Squire, so we had to keep sanding and keep sanding and keep sanding, but we got there in the end. That was after you just wet the headstock, put the decal in warm water for a minute or two. Take it out, just pinch it, slide it, it comes out a little bit, and then you put it on, and that's what we ended up with there. So yeah, I was happy with that. But as you can probably see, it's a lot shinier now. Very shiny. So that was after I did clear coat it. So that was after a couple of coats of clear coat, and I noticed it started like coming up the side here. So after I clear coated it, I think about 4 coats of clear coat on, and then wet sanded it, tuners on, and I am a happy bunny with how that turned out. You're not telling me that looks crap. I'm a novice. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just watching videos on YouTube for help on this. But yeah, I was made up with that. It looks proper. It looks spot on. In some lights, you can still see the decal, and my mate was really annoyed with me because he said I should have sanded it in between coats, but I didn't want to wreck it. It looks fine to me. I'm not trying to fool anybody, and I'm not going to sell it. So yeah, that was the decal. Next expensive purchase on the guitar. This was my Seymour Duncan Invader. Now that is the pickup Tom DeLonge used in his Strats before he went to Gibson and used the Dirty Fingers. Sounds very similar in my book. I've got both now, and although this isn't set up properly yet, it does sound very similar to the Dirty Fingers, and I'm made up with it. It's brilliant. Had a nightmare installing it. Word of advice, don't buy cheap soldering irons. I went through a pot beforehand and a load of wire and a load of solder. I'd never done it before. Watched a video on YouTube on how to do it. I tried it about 3 or 4 times, burnt the holy hell out of the potentiometer that I had first, and I even nicked the wire on the pickup with the soldering iron because I didn't really know what I was doing. But we got there in the end. After about 3 attempts, I did it. Proud of myself. But yeah, this cost 75 quid from hotrocks.co.uk or com. It's a British website, and that's the cheapest I have seen the Seymour Duncan. And the volume knob was again from Northwest Guitars in Warrington. So they're the 2 places. I think that was about 3 quid, the knob. But that is the cheapest I have seen an Invader, is 75 quid from Hot Rocks on the internet. hotrocks.co.uk, I think. So yeah, that's that. Threw them in. I hadn't wired it up at this point. I was just itching to get it together. So yeah, I put it together, and I wanted it done. This was 2 weeks before I'd even finished it. So yeah, that's not even wired up. Nothing's wired up. It's just placed in, and I just looked at it thinking, I want to play it. So yeah, that's where I was up to. That was the picture that went on Instagram. All my bits and pieces came from eBay, and God knows where. My bridge, my little screws for my pick guard, screws for the back plate, the strap blocks, the strap buttons. I had to get new strap buttons. That was a pain in the ass. There's a matchstick in there holding it in, because it was the hole had been used that much that the hole had gone massive. So shoved the matchstick in it, screwed it in, safe as houses now. But yeah, this was to me was the finished product, but it still needed wiring up. This was in between 2 attempts of wiring it up, and I just really wanted it done. One thing that purists will realise now, I think I've said it before, this does have a tremolo in. Unfortunately, you get what you're given, and the body I had was routed for a tremolo, but I added a perloid guard to it, and I don't think it looks too bad, to be honest. I just need to lock it down and get a better bridge, because that cheap Chinese crap is not staying in my guitar. I've fallen too much in love with this. But yeah, that's the back of it, and I just wanted to show you. I'm not trying to fool anybody. I'm not going to sell it, but even if I did, I've left my serial number on it, and it's still here now. I've left the Squire serial number on it, so if you want to check the serial number, some shitty Squire will come up. This was the finished product after I played it, and I am absolutely made up with it. It was behind me just there on the dog bed. And yeah, I think for someone who doesn't really know much about guitars, I'm quite proud of it. I know I've said it a few times, but I'm absolutely in love with it. So now I've got my ES333, and I've got my Tom DeLonge Strat and I'm happy with guitars now. The last bit is a bit that went on yesterday, and I've got a bit of shit for this, but I ordered this, and that is my Tom DeLonge style neck plate aftermarket. If you're gonna do it, I'm not going to tell you where to get it because I got a bit of shit on the group for it, on the Reddit Tom DeLonge group. I want it because I want it to be as good as it can be, and a proper replica of a Tom DeLonge Strat. Don't go buying these and shoving them on shitty guitars with shitty pickups and trying to sell them for $2,000. That's not cool. That's why I'm not going to tell you where I got it from. But I think it looks cool, and I'm not going to use it for evil. So yeah, don't be evil. Don't rip people off with guitars. Yeah, that was my video on my brand new Tom DeLonge Stratocaster. Still some projects I'm going to add to it. I need, like I said, I need to replace that bridge, tuners. May even get a new body, may even get a hardtail. But for now, it's playable and I love it. And I urge anybody who's interested in doing it. It is not hard at all. Hardest bit was wiring it up, and that's because I'm an idiot and can't do things that are hard. But I did it in the end. After 3 attempts, I did it in the end, and a new potentiometer was like £6. So out of all of them opportunities I had to break it, I did it on a part that was like £6-7. So I'm not complaining. It cost me about £350 in total to build, and if you want one, just do it. It's dead easy and it's really, really fun. I can't wait to do my next one. But anyway, if you like it, please hit the like button, and thank you very much for watching. And like I said, I'm going to upload a video, a cover of Wendy Clear after this, so let me know what you think. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one.